Oh, this is just heartbreaking. When we think of Eamonn Holmes, we think of that familiar, comforting face on breakfast television, a staple of our mornings for decades. But behind that well-known smile, the 65-year-old broadcaster is weathering an absolute nightmare of a storm. It's a devastating trifecta of personal crisis, a painful public separation from his wife, Ruth Langsford, a debilitating health condition that's left him in chronic pain, and now, a brutal, soul-crushing battle with the tax office that he says has absolutely ruined him. In a raw and furious new interview, Eamonn has laid bare the true cost of his war with HMRC, revealing it has cost him his home, his savings, and his peace of mind. And in his desperation, he's taken a shocking swipe at another icon of daytime TV, Lorraine Kelly. Speaking to the Belfast Telegraph, Eamonn didn't hold back, painting a grim picture of financial ruin and bureaucratic cruelty. He claims the entire ordeal has cost him more than £1 million, forced him to sell 2 beloved homes, and still leaves him owing a staggering £250,000. But it's his comments about Lorraine that have really turned heads. Eamonn, who has clearly been stewing on this, brought up his fellow broadcaster's own, very different, tax tribunal outcome. Lorraine Kelly is deemed to be freelance because she's not really Lorraine Kelly, Eamonn stated, pulling no punches. She's an actress who plays the part of Lorraine Kelly, she said, and once you have a defense, you have to stay that defense. This, right here, is the core of Eamonn's frustration. He feels the system is punishing him for his authenticity. I would say, I'm an actor who plays the part of Eamonn Holmes, except I'm not, he declared. I'm the same off-screen as I am on screen. There's no different persona with me, and that's the way it is. You can just feel the bitterness and injustice pouring out of him. In Eamonn's eyes, he's being penalized for being himself, while he believes others were able to use a performance defense to navigate the same tricky tax laws. It's a bizarre and deeply personal jab, but it reveals just how cornered and desperate he feels. This all stems from a change in how HMRC classifies freelance broadcasters. For years, presenters like Eamonn operated as self-employed contractors, managing their own taxes. Then, HMRC changed its stance, reclassifying many as employees and hitting them with colossal back tax bills. Eamonn's description of the moment his life changed is chilling. The thieving HMRC came after me and said, "You know the way we always said that you were self-employed. Well, we've thought about it. You're not self-employed, so we want 10 years back tax and national insurance." The timing, he says, couldn't have been worse, and they basically, at the most vulnerable time in my life, wrecked me financially. The consequences he described are devastating. I had to sell my house in Belfast. We had a place in Portugal I had to sell. I still owe them £250,000. Add £1 million odd to that, so it absolutely ruined me. Absolutely ruined me. The thieving HMRC. What makes it even more painful for Eamonn is how obvious his freelance status seems to him. He wasn't tied to one network. He was, by definition, a gun for hire. It is thievery when you look at, it's quite obvious I am a freelance person, he pleaded. I worked for Sky News. I worked for ITV. I worked for the BBC. I worked for Channel 4, Channel 5. I wrote for the Daily Express, the Daily Mirror. I couldn't be any more freelance. But his arguments fell on deaf ears. I appealed it twice, lost it twice, he admitted, the exhaustion palpable. Lawyers' fees are absolutely horrendous. So that was something on top of health matters. I had this tax situation, which is not over yet. This financial nightmare is running parallel to his other very public struggles. The figures for his company, Holmes & Away, which handles his broadcasting income, were revealed in July. Company's house figures showed the firm was £22,850 in the red for 2024, a stark drop from an £18,000 surplus the previous year. The accounts also showed he had creditors of almost £150,000 to pay. And then there's the physical toll. We've all watched Eamonn bravely continue his work on GB News while battling chronic back pain, the result of slipped discs and a 2022 spinal surgery that he's still recovering from. Add to this the emotional trauma of his split from Ruth Langsford after 14 years of marriage, and it's a picture of a man pushed to his absolute limit. It's one thing to read about numbers on a page, but it's another to hear the human cost. Eamonn Holmes isn't just a TV star, He's a man who feels the system he's paid into his entire life has turned on him, kicking him when he was already down. He's lost his family home in Belfast, his sunny escape in Portugal, and is now staring down a £250,000 debt while battling daily pain. His swipe at Lorraine Kelly may seem bizarre, but it's the cry of a man who feels the rules are rigged, that honesty doesn't pay, and that he's been left to foot an impossible bill while others, in his view, found a loophole. It's a truly taxing time, in every sense of the word.